Ace Podcast.
This is the Super Co-op Squad Video Game Podcast, episode 87. On today's show, we'll of course have our best and worst of the week, fan favorites, and this week's main topic is everything San Diego Comic-Con 2018. And of course, we're going to have our video game spotlight as well as our speed run. Hey guys, thanks for joining us on episode 87 of the Super Co-op Squad Video Game Podcast. I am here with my friends, fellow gamers, I'd say comic book lovers, but neither of them have probably read a comic in the last 2 years.
But I love comic books.
You love comic book themes.
I love
what
comic books represent.
Yes. Very different from being a lover of comic books. Garrett Laney.
Batman.
And Joshua Gerard.
What? No, hi.
Yep, and of course I am Johnny Mac. So before we hop into today's content, we're giving you, as always, our terrible spoiler of the week. This is so that we can make sure that for the real spoilers that we will be discussing, you're aware. So this is going to be getting that one out of the way. Terrible spoiler of the week.
He's thinking.
Two-Face dies, gets melted into some sort of acid, and catches his coin at the end of Batman Forever. Yeah.
It wasn't acid, but he was drowning. It was just water. He fell from very high up and then caught his coin.
Splashed in water?
Yeah, well, there was like rocks and metal at the bottom. He's dead. The point stands. He is dead, and he caught his
acid.
Coin. It is not acid.
Tommy Lee Jones.
We'll have to agree to disagree there.
No, I'm just right.
but for real spoilers, guys, make sure you check our show notes. You'll be able to look at those on scspodcast.com. That way, you can skip all the things you don't want to know about. All right, let's get into today's show. First off, best and worst news of the week.
All right, who's going first? Are you going to go first?
I will not go first this week.
How do we start this again? Do you start with best or worst?
Worst first. We decided that.
Okay, so I have a worst one.
Is it going to be the same across the board?
Probably.
It might be, actually. And then we can just expand on it. James Gunn.
Yep.
Thirded.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Go ahead.
Except for James Gunn.
Go ahead, explain it
I'll
away,
go a little
Garrett.
more into it. Okay, people have dug out of the internet some tweets from maybe 3-4 years ago.
It's actually longer. I read an article. Sorry to interrupt.
Let him finish.
No. Oh,
damn it! No, I'm just kidding. I was just completely joking.
They said as far back as 2008, 2009.
That is a very long
We're talking
time.
10 years ago.
All right, start over, Garrett.
Sorry.
So people have dug up some tweets that he had deleted from quite some time ago about some offensive, crude humor. Whether you think it's funny or not, offensive or not, it was not great. I'll give it that. However, Disney has taken action and has decided to fire James Gunn from any further directing, producing, or writing of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and just flat out Marvel at all.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is really dumb on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
For one, there's so many levels this is wrong for. I don't even know where to start. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I guess for one, who says it's him? Many celebrities have people who control, maintain, and post for them.
Yeah, whether it's publicists or just PR people.
Yeah.
They hire people for that.
There's no guarantee that it was him. There's no guarantee his account wasn't hacked. There's no way to know that it was actually him who put that on there. And that could be backed up by the fact that it was, like I said, it was mined from the internet. It was or screen captured. So it was deleted from his Twitter account, from his posts. Maybe they saw this and thought, hey, someone got into his Twitter. This isn't something we should be saying. And then, deleted it. So just off that grounds alone is a problem. Second problem, I mean, I don't want to go into all of it, but it's 8 years ago. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. A very different person than he was back then, or he had already gone on record saying that, that was him. He was a different person. He was, looking for attention. I think he are his words anyway, for one reason or another. But it's kind of one of those things where it sucks for James Gunn, and I don't think Disney should have done that. But on the flip side, Disney would be in a position of damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they didn't fire James Gunn, then there would be people outraged and crying that how are they going to let him get away with this kind of thing. To me, they're in the wrong, but there's going to be an outcry either way.
Yeah. I feel it's a touchy subject because you look at something that somebody did or said 10 years ago, and are you using that to justify or give an example of who the person is today? Is he the same person? Is he foregoing the same actions or the same feelings? I think, and we don't know this, but did Disney just make the decision outright? Did they confront James about it? Like, hey, is this actually you? Did you make these comments? Okay, even though this is not who you are now, maybe it doesn't align with what we are, as a company and what we focus on. So it is a touchy subject, but I don't think that he should have got let go just for the fact that someone sprung up old comments. And I don't know, someone was looking to get attention from this, from what I read. Someone posted it and said, hey, bring this up to James Gunn when you see him at Comic-Con and tell him it's not right, it's not okay. And that just kind of escalated from there.
Yeah, it sucks because it's something that he had already gone back and, through his Twitter and deleted it. Because my first thought would be, well, if you make it big, delete the bad stuff, But to hear that he had already done that and that someone just mimed it from the internet. Once something's on the internet, it's on there. There's no making it disappear. But it sucks that someone went through that much trouble and then just brought back something from, to the light that was buried and forgotten long ago that no one said anything about 8 years ago.
Nope. It was never can't say it wasn't a problem back then, but it wasn't enough of a problem where it didn't withhold him from getting a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Making a couple movies, a few more. So, no, it really does suck. And the movie hasn't started filming yet, but he wrote the film and co-directed. So, does that mean that they're going to scrap the script because he wrote it and you don't want nothing to do with him? So we're going to take his vision and scrap it, or we're just going? Is he going to make money still, even though it's his script?
I would say that if James Gunn is to stay fired, people are already signing petitions and writing to Disney, get him his job back and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how far that goes. But I would assume that it's just going to be a whole new story, whole new writer if James Gunn doesn't come back.
All that work wasted.
Yeah, okay, so I pulled out some of the tweets, and when they say offensive tweets, they actually mean several different tweets, not just one. And these are pretty bad, but again, this seems like something that would be a reprimand because it's not okay. Not at all. So, for instance, some of the things he said was, I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Not great.
No.
Trying to, and this is like him adding several people. I'm assuming these are probably some sort of model because it says at blah, 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 at so-and-so. Trying to maintain a semi-chub so that I'll look impressive in these photos. The Expendables was so manly, I bleeped the bleep out of the little bleep boy next to me. The boys are back in town. And so on and so forth.
Yeah, these tweets, though they do sound crude and offensive, there are clearly people with that sense of humor. And I think that's what he was going with. It's a sense of humor. Whether you agree with that sense of humor or not, that's up to you. But clearly, to me anyway, I see these as jokes. Should he have said them? No. But he's obviously not going out actually
bleeping the bleep out of little bleep boys.
Out of bleeps. Yeah. He's not doing that.
I think that's the fine line too. If someone were to take that exact same text or tweet and put it in a stand-up show, I don't think anyone would think any second thoughts about it because you actually see that they're the joke, not necessarily what you perceive it as.
Yeah.
So it's rough, but this is where stuff comes back to haunt you.
I feel like there should be some sort of statutory limit.
See, and that's the last thing that the third major point. The first one was a long time ago. The second one was, who says it's him? I mean, I guess if he admitted it,
he didn't deny it.
The third one is that I can't remember the term for this, but it's a term, and it's in regards to the fact that social media has changed the way that people need to have the perception of how they act be, and that you don't. Who you are in the moment doesn't necessarily matter in and of itself, near as much as who you are all the time, everywhere, at every point in time, going back through your life, your social life, social media life. Because, just for this example, the things that they can pull up also are a reflection of you right now. Because you may not have been the same person 10 years ago you are today, but by looking back at your social media history and your timeline and your footprint, now all those things are still attributed to you whenever a decade later. So how can I ever grow as a person? I mean, I've used this example, I believe, before, but what if someone like took a picture with Bill Cosby, like, and said 8 years ago, hey, I love Bill Cosby, he's my hero, and then now someone goes, hey, what the look what so-and-so put. They said they love Bill Cosby, he's their hero. And I'm like, bro, like, I met the man from the Cosby Show, and I didn't know he was a raping piece of, like, you can't get on them for that. But that's what this is doing. It's making it so that all the things that you do are always constantly looked at and scrutinized. And that's just not okay.
Yeah. On social media, whatever you said in the past to other people is what you said today.
Okay, cool. Time, we can open it. All right. Time for best news of the week. Best news of the week.
Am I starting that one off?
You can start it off.
All right. So my best news of this week is coming fresh out of San Diego Comic-Con. Batman Hush will have an animated movie coming in 2019. For those of you that don't know, which is most of the listeners, and maybe even some of
don't
my
say
my
most of the
cohorts here.
listeners. You
well,
don't.
No. I'm saying for me, most of the listeners probably don't know that Batman Hush is my favorite story.
You had mentioned it before.
Okay. You phrased that weirdly.
Well, no, you didn't let me finish. That's what happened.
Fine.
Yeah, I was going to say you did mention that is something that you wish would come to fruition, other than in a comic book.
Yes. Batman Hush being one of my favorite Batman stories, I'm very happy to see get the animated DC treatment. Hopefully, it is good. It's standalone movie, so it won't be connected to the new run of the Justice League movies, and Justice League and Aquaman, or Justice League Atlantis, and Justice League War, all that kind of stuff. It'll be its own separate story. I'm excited to see who they'll get to play Batman. My personal choice, of course, is Kevin Conroy. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that is my best news.
Nice.
Johnny is shaking his head no. I guess he's not.
Is this
he doesn't
live
agree
action or
no? This is animated.
Okay,
I just said
you made it sound weird when you said like I want to. I don't know. It made it seem like I want to who you want to play Batman versus who you want to voice Batman.
Okay.
So if you just said I wanted who I want to voice Batman, but playing like the actor, I don't know. It feels different.
Okay, I did announce that this was an animated movie.
You just were all over the place. It seemed like with some of those things.
All right.
Cool. It's my turn. My news is fresh out of Comic-Con. So did you guys read the last little bullet point that I said about checking up on these movie trailers? Because I did mention that you should check out the Broly trailer. That was my favorite thing that came out of this week.
Why do you say Broly? Isn't it Brawly?
I think it's tomato kind of thing.
Yeah.
I personally go Broly.
Well, tomato's not a thing because I don't think you've ever met anyone in your life that says tomato.
I haven't, but there are people out there that do.
Sure there are.
Well, I say Broly, and you say?
Brawly, the way it's supposed to be said.
Broly sounds like broccoli without the C's in the middle. So, did you guys watch the trailer?
No.
Dang it!
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Johnny, you're gonna have to sit this one out.
I don't have much to add.
But it's a great friggin' trailer.
They didn't show off too much. I feel
I felt they showed just enough. So it takes place after Dragon Ball Super's arc, after the Tournament of Power. Goku is essentially yearning for more power because his eyes were opened up to see how much more potential there is to grow and to fight other, beings and people that have a stronger ability than he does.
right. The end after every movie and every season.
Yeah, but this one's, I feel, a little bit different because this one kind of bleeds into canon now. And Broly before was always just a story arc in a movie in itself and didn't really traverse to anything else. Like each of the movies was its own movie and not really a continuation of the character.
Yeah, but with this being added to that kind of Dragon Ball Super verse, Broly is now canon.
Yeah, but we'll see how they do it. We'll see if when the show comes back are they going to mention Broly at all? If either any character gets stronger in this show, is that going to translate into the show as it continues? Or sorry, in the movie and go into the show? I mean, they showed Broly. They showed him later at the back end transformation. He fights Vegeta. He fights Frieza. So Frieza's in this movie, which is awesome. And then of course he fights Goku, and we see Goku in a Super Saiyan God form. We see him in his blue form. We don't see him in Ultra Instinct, so we don't know if that's going to come around. So it just the animation style is great. It changes throughout the film. Dragon Balls are gonna have some sort of place in the film. So yeah. We don't know if this is gonna be like, hey, this is Saiyans that have been in hiding since Planet Vegeta blew up. Is that gonna be a thing? Babies are being bred in here. So I look forward to seeing how this is gonna be officially canon in the story. So I'm very excited for this. Comes out December in Japan. And
later in America.
January of next year, we're getting it.
I'm curious if this Broly, because this Broly is different than the Broly that's in like Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yes.
Because that's the Super Saiyan, big, hulking, just massive Broly. Is he going to be an additional character? Are they even going to add him in Dragon Ball Fighters? Is it going to be a costume?
I think, Broly right now in Dragon Ball Fighters is a character that's based on the previous movies.
Yes, he is.
And I believe that in this movie, he looks slightly different, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a skin. It would make sense rather than being a brand new character.
I think they do a brand new character, much like base Goku and base Vegeta are going to be separate characters.
Maybe, but we would have to see like what his moveset is and if he actually does anything different in this movie compared to the previous films that he was in.
Well, we will find out in January, or you could stream it in December.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather wait.
Japanese.
I don't know which one I'd rather do. I probably would rather wait to see the dub version just to see it in the big screen.
Oh, yeah.
And then watch the sub afterwards. Because the sub is much better.
Cool. All right, my best news of the week is the live-action Teen Titans trailer debuting at San Diego Comic-Con.
Sorry, live-action Titans.
Sure, whatever you want to call it. Teen Titans.
It's not the same.
It's pretty much the same. Yeah, this looked really good. Joshua does not believe it's going to be part of the Arrowverse. I don't think it will at first, but I think it will find its way there, much like Supergirl did, much like it's very obvious Black Lightning is going to do. I think this looks really cool. A lot more bloody and gory and adult themed than the CW nonsense. So yeah, I'm excited to check this out a little bit.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So am I. Excited to see this. It's a much more mature take than what we're used to seeing, the Teen Titans cast. And I don't think this is going to be part of the Arrowverse. I think this is going to be its own separate thing, mostly because it's too mature. I think they might have their own mature universe, but I don't think this is going to tie in the Arrowverse. No, but we'll see.
And the reason why, the Arrowverse doesn't have the high-end blood or gore is because it's on national television. This show is going to be aired exclusively on a streaming service, right? So there's a little bit more freedom that you can do with that.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, it's easy to scale up or scale down. If they want to bring Robin into the Arrowverse, it's not hard to make him not kill people, which he's probably not doing anyway, or crush people's throats. They want to bring the Arrow into the Teen Titans show, and I'm going to keep calling it that. Then they could easily make him, shoot people with actual arrows and actually hurt people with his arrows. Like it's doable.
Oh, that's his whole thing, though. Like, he's trying to not do that.
No, he's trying not to kill people, but he can hurt people with his
arrows.
arrows.
He still plenty shoots people with arrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does kill people at the end of last season.
Spoilers.
He doesn't he kill people in like the first season too?
Well, yeah, but he flips back and forth.
Yeah. So, but my point is though that they want to make it so he's more vicious. It's doable pretty easily. But yeah, this looks pretty cool. So,
yep,
that's my best.
I mean, I'll check it out. Looks cool. I think they purposely didn't show too much of Beast Boy, just as far as transformation.
Or Starfire.
Starfire looked terrible.
I am not happy with that Starfire.
Was Cyborg in the trailer?
Cyborg's not a Titan.
Yeah.
Just in general? Oh, okay.
Well, he's a leaguer now.
Oh, okay. But okay.
All right. So now we vote.
Yes, we vote.
I vote for Johnny because I'm excited for Titans.
Aw.
I'm not that big in the DPC, man.
Well,
sorry. I appreciate it.
I don't know anything about Dragon Batman Rush Hush.
What?
Batman Hush, so I'm going to pick Johnny's.
Cool. All right, well, there you have it.
No. Don't do it. You got to vote.
My vote doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter that it doesn't matter. You got to vote.
I've already lost, though.
No, actually, you won.
Like, I'm not going to take my time going to the poll when I already knew that Trump won. Like, there's no point at that point. But I will vote for Garrett's thing.
Yay.
Okay.
So
that's a small victory.
There you go. All right. Well, that was best of the week for me. I won that one. Teen Titans.
Oh, there's winning?
Well, I won, yeah. Or my thing won, essentially.
All right.
But that's best news of the week and worst news of the week. All right, guys. It is time for fan favorites. So every week we pick 3 rapid fire questions and each of us answers to find where we stand opposed and united in fandom. So play along, find out just what are your fan favorites.
Wait, 3?
3, yes. We pared it down a little bit, we've added some different things to the show, so we felt it was best to keep this thing nice, tight, and concise.
Keeping it with prime numbers now.
All right, so it was my week, and we've done this maybe a long time ago, 50, 60 episodes back, about what weapons would you choose? Which weapon that would you want to have as your weapon? And that's what this is going to be. So if the weapon could work exactly how they do in the show or in the movie or in the comic, if you pick that, that's what you're getting. So you get all of its abilities and the way that it actually functions. So pick which weapon you would want to have.
Okay.
All right. Question 1. Wolverine's claws or a lightsaber?
Wolverine's claws.
Wolverine's claws.
Wolverine's claws. Ghostbuster Proton Pack or the Noisy Cricket from Men in Black?
Noisy cricket.
Noisy cricket.
Proton Pack. Set of Batarangs or Captain America's shield?
Captain America's shield.
Cap shield.
Set of Batarangs.
All right.
Let's break this down. Okay, so Wolverine's claws, I mean, I could just have them all the time.
It's a great weapon, and there's a lot more uses than you would think.
I mean,
he uses it to scale walls and stuff, and just lunge at people.
Yeah, the thing about that, I don't think scaling walls would actually work. Like, it slices through other metals and wood and stuff like butter. You put your claws in there, you're just gonna slide down the thing.
Look, man, you said it works how I've seen it in movies, how I've seen it in comics.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Fair enough. All right, in that case, then you're right. But yeah, just the fact that I could have them on me at all times, just if someone ever messed with me, and I just slide claws out of me, they're gonna back down. And a lightsaber is cool, but there's just the likelihood of me slicing off my own fingers or my own hand is pretty high. So I just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, and claws have better utility too. You can probably use it to make it easier to cut up some food. You can use them as like a back scratcher. You know, the little extra like 2 or 3 inches you can't reach in the middle of your back. You can do that.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster right there, man.
Well, I'm not saying you have to stab yourself. Just a little scratch. You know, scratch.
This is adamantium, dude. Like,
so?
Just delicately scratch.
All right.
Are you saying if your claws are ever off, you poke yourself, you're just going to gouge?
Well, if you're trying to scratch your back, I feel like you'd just be gouging your back.
Ooh, do keep in mind that there are also cons to that. If we remember in the original X-Men movie, Wolverine wakes up from a nightmare and just stabs Rogue.
Well, remember, that's because he has like post-traumatic stress disorder. We don't have that problem.
I mean, someone could still scare you awake.
Yeah, that didn't happen to him, though. What happened was he just woke up like a crazy person. So I don't think we'd have to deal with that too much. But, yep, there we go. All right, next up, we got the Ghostbuster Proton Pack or the Noisy Cricket.
Does the Ghostbuster Proton Pack have any uses if you don't believe in ghosts?
Yeah, it's still like a laser.
Okay. Now I'm going to go with Noisy Cricket because I can blow stuff up.
Yeah, I thought about that too, but the Proton Pack, like, you have to carry a lot of stuff with you. You got to carry a backpack, and a big old gun, and a little box to suck in the ghosts.
You can't cross the streams.
Well, you can, actually.
Oh, that's not a thing anymore?
Did you watch the end of the first movie? They crossed the streams and everybody lived.
They did.
So,
they crossed the hell out of those streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, cricket is it's super small, it's convenient, there's something in your way. Pew!
Yeah, then you go flying backwards.
He just wasn't prepared for the kick.
No, that's not true.
Knocked him back every time.
Yeah,
just be aware of what's behind you. Maybe back up all the way to a wall before you use it.
That you probably go through that wall.
Yeah, and then I mean you can't use it for anything besides absolute destruction. Like, it's blowing holes in trucks. Like,
that's all I need it for.
It's a lot. All right. Well, I guess the Proton Pack lost that one. And last, we have Batarangs or Captain America's shield.
Though the Batarangs can do whatever Batarangs can do, I still need to have the ability to throw them and be on point.
Yeah, and you would. You have them.
Because he does it like in the TV show and the movies.
I thought it was the weapon itself has all the properties of the weapon.
And yes.
Not that you don't necessarily have the properties of the user.
Yeah, you could throw them with pretty darn good accuracy. You could flip them out and like have 4 in your hand, like in your fingers, and throw them all together and hit like
that's
5 targets.
That's how I took it, because if I throw Cap shield, I know how to throw it for it to retract back on its own
and hit like 8 people, bounce off the ground, and you catch it.
I just grabbed the shield so I could like jump off of buildings and then land on it and then be okay.
So I mean, based on that, the same way that you're saying that the properties of the weapon don't help you like use it, you would still crush and break your arms hitting the ground that way. The
Okay.
shield would be fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
If you got it on one side, you can't take it away on the other.
No, you're right. You're right.
Use it for
Then
shield.
I won't do that. I
Use
won't
it-
jump off.
Use it for
buildings.
shield surfing.
Shield. Yeah. Oh man, no. But then it breaks, and then I fall.
No, this one's adamantium. This
That's
is an
true.
unbreakable shield.
That's true. Vibranium.
Cool. All right. Well, that's fan favorites, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Give us some ideas, some topics for next week's fan favorites.
We won that one, by the way.
You did.
We won them all. Joe, get it. Pound it.
You won them all.
All right. On this week's main topic, we're discussing San Diego Comic-Con 2018. A lot of pop culture news, a lot of pop culture reveals have been showcased, and a lot of good, crazy, cool stuff is being let known. So we're going to break down some of the biggest things that we saw, discuss what we enjoyed, and if there's anything that we didn't like, we'll also get into that. So some of the big things, of course, that happens every year, especially since Marvel kind of has begun taking over Hall H over the last 10 years, is more and more trailers are being revealed for movies. And that's no different than this year. We had reveals for several trailers, including Shazam, Aquaman, live action trailer, Steven Universe, Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald, and more. So what stood out to you guys for this round of trailers, or just in general San Diego Comic-Con?
So it's no secret that the DCEU has not had a great track record as of late. Justice League, the biggest movie that's supposed to be the biggest movie, had the worst sales out of all of them. Not great. But they did show off the Aquaman trailer as well as the Shazam trailer. I am actually very excited for the Shazam trailer. I thought it looked a lot of fun. I thought it looked funny. And it seems like it's a breath of fresh air that I think the DCEU needs. Something separate, something not so serious, dark, and gritty, but more of kind of a light. You know, I'm getting not necessarily Thor Ragnarok vibes, but I'm getting a much lighter tone than the past DC movies.
I agree with you, actually, surprisingly.
Happens every now and then.
Yeah, world might end. You need to be careful there. I really did like the trailer. I thought it did look funny and different than the tone that they've had, which is very dark and gritty for these, every DC, EU movie. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better just because of that. The story could fall pretty bad. I do have some things that I noticed in the trailer that we'll see. But I think they got the idea of Billy Batson and Shazam down very well. Cause he's not gonna be a dark hero, he's gonna be a kid, and they made him act and be like a kid would be, I would think, if he got superpowers.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that aspect of it. Just real quick nitpicks. I wish they didn't, I don't know, like I feel like they don't have anything to go forward with as far as a villain. They didn't show anything like as far as like what the problem is, what's his obstacle. You know?
No, they didn't show that part, but they did make sure to show that I believe it's Dr. Savannah.
They did.
They showed him actually hold back a punch from Shazam. So that's enough, I think, that even if you know nothing about Shazam, that's like, oh wow, this guy can go toe to toe with Shazam.
Yeah, they
Captain
showed that,
Marvel.
that one shot, but
Yeah. No, I agree. There's no like serious plot. There's no overarching thing just yet. It's still only the first trailer, and you kind of get an idea of the character first, I think.
Yeah. I'm actually the opposite of you, Gary, and even Johnny too. I wasn't really a fan of the trailer. I like the idea behind what they're doing. I think it's a little bit too comedic in my opinion, where to me it looks like more of a comedy than an action or a superhero movie would be based on what they showed me. And I don't know how they actually rolled in the comic, but does Billy actually ride a train and all of a sudden gets transported to a different realm or something?
sort of.
As far as I believe New 52, that's what happened. It was in a subway station.
It was kind of weird because there was people on the train, and then all of a sudden the train took them to wherever, and then the people aren't there anymore. So
Yeah, he was transported.
Yeah, it doesn't. The train thing doesn't matter. Sometimes it's been in a subway. Sometimes the point is he does get transported somewhere, and
Okay.
yeah.
I wasn't a fan.
Don't worry about where he got the powers. Just he has powers now.
Yeah. So it was a little. I'll still go see it, but it was just wasn't my take. I really like the Aquaman trailer. This was something that
Segueing.
Yeah. It was a nice segue.
thanks. It was more out of left field as far as what we expected or what I expected. You know, I thought it was going to be something a little bit closer to what Justice League was, where, you know, you see him on an island, you know, he's kind of taking care of people. You don't really get much of his backstory roots. They got some weird underwater things he was doing, but I really liked how this one showed that it had a little bit more grit to it. You see a couple different villains in there. Black Manta, it was really cool reveal in there too. I'm looking forward to that. And just also you actually get to see quite a bit of what Atlantis looks like. I'm not sure about having a bunch of different like underwater vehicles. It's kind of a little weird iffy place for me, but it looks like it's going to have a lot of action, some sea battles, and they talk underwater this time around without having to be in a bubble.
No air bubbles.
Yeah, so that's good. They learned.
I'm a bit on the opposite side of you, Joshua, where I'm less excited for Aquaman than I am for Shazam. And I think part of that is they're going in a very different way for Aquaman, in my opinion. He's very kind of like, he boasts himself. He's all about him, and that's a different take than what Aquaman's been in the past. And so I applaud them for trying something new. But to me, that's not the character that I know. That's not the Aquaman that I like, or anyway. Jason Momoa I still like, but that Aquaman not so much. I'm actually worried about that they showed off Ocean Master and Black Manta.
I was going to say the same thing.
And those are great villains. Maybe not in the same movie, because you have nowhere to go after that.
This reminds me very much of like, well, I guess any of the Batman movies before the Dark Knight trilogy, you know, where you've got Catwoman and freaking Penguin, and you've got Riddler and Two-Face, and then Freeze and Bane and Poison Ivy all in one movie. Like, you're using too much and you're not giving each character their due. And I felt the same. I'm like, is it really going to be enough for Black Manta to do when he's also having to fight Orm? You know, that's just not a good idea.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, comparing him to the pre-Dark Trilogy Batman movies. But to be fair, Batman's rogues gallery is much larger than Aquaman's.
It's not about how large it is. It's about that each of these characters deserves their own fight, their own battle, their own kind of, you know, head-to-head obstacles against the hero. And when you put them together like that, you only have an hour and a half movie. So how can you really drive the backstory of two of these villains and also really drive the backstory of Aquaman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
No.
Turns into almost like, is it going to be a one and done for one or both of these villains?
Most definitely it will. They both won't make a return. Somebody will die.
I mean, I guess Starro? You could do Starro next?
It's not even his villain, really.
No.
I personally do like
Jason Momoa?
No, not okay. So I don't like this Aquaman, but the theme of him is still the same. So Arthur Curry is a proud man, like even in, you know, Justice League or Justice League Unlimited or any of the comics. He's a proud person because he is a king, you know. And
yes.
So I appreciate that they still have him be proud. Then it's in a different way than they have him in the show, where he's more, in the shows or older comics where he's more regal, and here he's just more like a loner biker badass, almost like Lobo.
I was just going to say that. The main man.
Yeah, I think that's a little off putting him in that way. But I like that they get his character. They're just expressing it in a weird way.
Okay. So, maybe that's what it is. I'm going to watch the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Coming out this year.
Yeah. So anything else for San Diego Comic-Con that you guys that stood out for you guys?
I mean, we talked about Titans. We talked about Broly. That was there. I'm looking forward to the snippet of Young Justice Season 3 that they showed us. It definitely looks promising. It's quite a different take on what they're actually introducing into this season. Did either of you guys watch the trailer?
I did not, unfortunately.
My goodness.
Sorry, man.
Out of all the things that we all like together. So the trailer that they showed was pretty much a recap of what happened with Artemis and Wally in Season 2, where, you know, spoiler alert, Wally dies. But they kind of show what's happening. There's a different take. You don't really get to see who the new enemy is per se. You see Vandal Savage at the very end. You see a bunch of different things happening within the city. There's a new villain kind of army that's coming throughout. They show that all the characters are they're different. They're older. They look like they're a little bit of separation because of what happened with Wally. Nightwing saying that he doesn't feel the same because, he was the one that kind of helped found the team. And without him, they don't really feel like a team anymore. So, Aqualad just looks older and facial hair look like in the trailer. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a different take, I think, especially being a show that's been gone for so long.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's something I do want to watch. I don't know. With me, I'm in a weird spot with it. As I've said to you guys off air, their choice in how to distribute it is personally not my favorite. I mean, just the CW seed or the DC subscription thing, whichever way they're going. I guess if it's on the subscription thing, that's easier for me because I'm going to get it anyway. So yeah, I would prefer that.
I mean, if it's free, it's free.
Free!
Yep. The last notable thing I want to discuss is Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald.
Wait, you want to discuss this?
Yeah. I really didn't like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, but this one looks very different, a little better. I don't know if it will be better, but I did like the trailer that I watched. So it recaptured my interest of the franchise because it honestly doesn't even feel like a Fantastic Beasts movie. It just seems like a movie set in the Harry Potter universe about Grindelwald and younger Albus Dumbledore.
Youngledore?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, it looked okay.
Fool me once, Johnny.
See, but I didn't go into Fantastic Beasts expecting much.
No, I'm just kidding. Chandler's gonna rip me tomorrow or whenever he listens to this. I was just kidding. I actually missed this trailer.
I didn't.
It was okay. It was okay. So
it looks like it has higher hopes. Yeah. I see a lot of references that they feel like there's more Harry Potter feels in this one compared to the first one just by what the trailer showed. I don't know if that's true because I didn't watch it.
Or read Harry Potter. Watched the movies.
I've seen some of the movies. Not all of them in their entirety. But I've seen some.
It's a very I
know what a Quidditch is.
Don't say it that way. What do you think a Quidditch is?
Well, how is it supposed to be sound?
Oh, what is it?
It's the little ball with wings.
That is not true.
It's a game of Quidditch.
My gosh. All right. Let's just leave him.
I didn't get to finish because Johnny interrupted me. So.
I asked you a question. Don't try that.
And then you said, no, it's not. And then that was it.
I didn't interrupt you. You said your piece and we looked at you with incredulous eyes.
All right, Johnny, let us know how a football game is going.
You're right. The last thing I want to bring up in regards to just Comic-Con, there were no reveals for Marvel. Marvel did not hold their Hall H panel like they normally do almost for the last 10 years. There were no trailer reveals. There wasn't discussion that we've had for anything Marvel universe related. Marvel, of course the comics, but nothing for their cinematic universe.
Interesting. I wonder why.
I mean, what do they actually have? So we know that there's going to be a Captain Marvel. We know, well, maybe after the whole thing with Gunn, you don't show Guardians.
I don't think that's true.
As far as any hints or release dates or.
Well, I mean, I don't think they started anything yet, so there's nothing to actually show of it.
Right. Well, even if there were, that logic is false because they would not close down a whole panel because of him. He would not be there, but they would still showcase Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever that project happened to be.
Yeah.
But they didn't show Guardians of the Galaxy 3. There was no Black Panther 2 mentioned. Nothing for the follow-up to Infinity War. Mm-hmm. We know those are definitely coming. Captain Marvel didn't have any information. Or even new projects. Doctor Strange 2 is going to happen.
Black Widow, which they just found a director. But
so, yeah, they didn't have anything. They didn't bring anything to the table, which is very weird, I think.
Do they not have anything? Or are they waiting for something else? Is Marvel going to have their own Marvel Direct?
Maybe. I mean, is there anything that we know has already started filming and is ready to come out within the next year besides the next Avengers film?
Captain Marvel.
Is that coming out next year?
It's filming. I don't know if it's done filming. It must be pretty close. I mean, they usually only film for, 4 or 5 weeks.
Do they feel it's too soon because Avengers came out 2 months ago?
I did see, speaking of that, I did see that at San Diego Comic-Con, there was a building to help people cope with the ending of Infinity War.
Really?
Yes.
But there's a part that's not out yet. So, like, why do you need coping when you haven't seen part 2?
Because people don't like leaving the movie feeling bad.
It does make you leave feeling bad.
People don't like that. They can't appreciate what they're going for.
I wonder if people, like, at the end of that movie were watching it and, okay, let's just get to the post-credit scene and they'll show something good, and it just gets worse. Yeah, like, at that point, even more people die. All right, guys. Well, that's our thoughts on some of the biggest things coming out of San Diego Comic-Con 2018.
Yeah, we didn't get any game info.
There was very little. All right, guys. It is time for Gamer Trivia. So every week, 2 of us go head-to-head in a best-of-3 trivia contest. The winner plays again next week, keeps bragging rights. The loser, they take their loss and make next week's trivia. But you can play along with us and see how much knowledge you have in Gamer Trivia. All right. Well, I won last week.
Wow, Luigi.
I lost.
That means you got work to do.
Not anymore. Yes, I had work to do. So, gentlemen, we had a pretty big game come out last week, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, from Square Enix, Octopath Traveler. So this here is going to be the original Square trivia.
Yeah. We're going pre-90s, gentlemen.
All right, let's start. First question. What year was the original Square company founded? A. 1980. B. 1982. C. 1986. Or D. 1975. What year was the original Square company founded? I have both your answers quite fast. Joshua, you said C. 1986. Johnny, you said B. 1982. The correct answer is C. 1986.
Crap. Did you know that, Joshua?
Nope. But
got lucky?
I thought, did that company come out pre-NES? I was like, I don't think so.
That's a smart way to do it. So that is 1 for Joshua. And that was incorrect for Johnny.
All right. Well, started this one off strong, Johnny.
All right. So there's 1-0. On to the next question. Question number 2. Square has collaborated with many companies. Which of these companies have they never worked with? A. Disney. B. Capcom. C. Columbia. D. EA. Or E. They have worked with all of these companies.
So much. What the
hell?
hell?
I know, buddy. Which of these companies have they never worked with?
What was E? They've never worked with any of them?
They have worked with all of them. I have Joshua's answer. And Johnny's answer. Gentlemen, you have both answered D, EA. The correct answer is A, Disney. Square has not worked with Disney. Squaresoft has.
Pretty,
I did say this was original Square trivia.
Yep, wasn't sure what the timeline is. What's Columbia? Do you know?
Columbia is the movie production studios. They did Spirits Within. So, that is incorrect for both of you. Score is 1-0 still. Joshua's favor. Fun fact.
Yay.
Though Square became an official company in 1986, they worked on projects prior to their independent debut. Their first game was actually released in 1984. Question number 3.
Oh, we don't even know what the game is? Aw.
What is the name of Square's first video game? A. Final Fantasy. B. King's Knight. C. The Death Trap. Or D. Dragon Slayer.
Are you saying Dragon's Lair or Dragon Slayer?
Slayer, as in one who slays dragons. What is the name of their first game? I have Joshua's answer. And I have Johnny's answer. Gentlemen, you both answered B, King's Knight.
Dang it.
The correct answer is C, The Death Trap. That was their first game.
80s, man.
What a time. Okay, we are now at our... Oh, sorry, I should do the thing. You guys both got it wrong. Joshua, you got one. Johnny, you got nothing. So, place your bets. We're on to our bonus question. You can bet as many points as you have. Get the question right. You gain that many points. Get the question wrong. You lose that many points. Getting the question correct earns you an additional 2 points.
You don't need a bet from me.
No, but okay, there we go. It's still... That is not even a number. That is a gif of Leonardo DiCaprio crying.
I don't have any points.
As long as it wasn't like a middle finger or something.
All right, here's the bonus question. In what year did the companies Square and Enix merge? Price is Right rules.
That's dumb.
Wait, so we can be under but not over?
You can be under but not over, but the person closest gets the question right.
That sucks.
That's dumb.
Well, you can do trivia your own way when it's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely not next week, but the week after.
I mean, you pretty much gave like a handout if I get this wrong or over.
Make sure you don't go over.
So read the question one more time.
In what year did the companies Square and Enix merge? I have Johnny's answer.
You might get a cop-out on this one.
We'll see.
Well, whoever gets this wins.
It's true.
Unless we both go over, which I doubt either of us is going to go over.
And I have Joshua's answer.
Or if we have the same answer, in that case, then you still win unless you...
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So, Johnny, you answered 1996.
I'm probably over.
Joshua,
It's right in there somewhere.
you answered 1992.
I think it's 93.
Oh my god.
I thought 96, but I was like, that sounds too high.
The correct answer is 2003.
Oh man. I did it.
Yeah, like I said, cop out.
I did it.
2003 is when the companies merged. Price is Right rules. Johnny, come on down.
Thank you. Sorry, Joshua.
Sorry, Joshua. It happens.
No, you guys aren't sorry.
I'm not.
Johnny's not.
All right, well, I think that's a three-peat for Johnny.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I beat Joshua. Pretty
Did
sure.
you win the SpongeBob?
I didn't. I lost SpongeBob.
And then there was Waluigi. Wait, no. Anyway.
Well, before that was Mario. No, I don't think you won the Mario one.
Pretty sure I have a three-peat.
Anyway.
You can go into
You won this one.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Johnny.
I'll check on that three-peat. They're trying to take it from you guys.
No, you
I
ain't taking
don't
nothing.
think we
man.
are.
You're trying to give yourself something that you didn't earn.
So we were discussing Octopath Traveler, the latest game coming from Square Enix. Funnily enough, and Gary's trivia there.
Yeah.
Exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. This is their take on the classic JRPG that we very rarely see anymore. Turn-based sprite, 2D sprite game with a 3D background for all of the towns, villages, and artwork. This game is different in the sense that you have 8 main characters with their own individual mini stories where they come together and each person has their own role, their own task, their own event they're trying to complete. And you have the ability as the player to really decide where you want to begin and end with your journey. And you can pick who you want to join your team and when. You can pretty much, if you really choose to, skip whole characters and then, of course, create your party of 4 that you battle with at any point in time, however you choose to. You also have the ability to create, to change the jobs, to some degree that the characters have available, with the one primary that they always have and a secondary job that you can change, to make your characters more versatile and dynamic.
Oh, it's cool. Spoiler alert if you haven't gotten that far.
Well, sorry.
we put a spoiler alert at the beginning of the episode.
We did.
Yeah, the game's not even enough.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
no.
no.
It's not like it's a spoiler of the story. It's just
the
gameplay.
Game spoiler. Oh man, what if I told you the new character that's coming out in Smash Bros, but you heard it from me first?
Well, that'd be a regular spoiler. Yeah, so, thoughts on this, because I think that the thing that's different overall though is the quality of the artwork and just everything is just so streamlined. Like they made sure that everything looked really good, and there's no clunkiness that you got with the old school JRPGs. It feels like a 2018 JRPG as much as it can. So thoughts on the game in general, and thoughts on, this new thing.
Where to start? So the game, as we have discussed before, it's 2D sprites in the 3D world. It's different. It looks nice. I kind of like it, but I don't know. It's for me. I'm in a weird place, as I often am. Seeing this kind of beautiful land and then these kind of 16-bit characters, I'm actually not a fan of the sprites. I kind of wish maybe they looked a little better, maybe a little more refined, maybe add some more bits. But the game, as far as the presentation and the menus, the music is very enjoyable.
Yeah, music is phenomenal. I love this art style. I'm a huge fan of 16-bit era. Super Nintendo all the way as far as RPGs. I think this is a really great homage to the original JRPGs, not just how it looks, gameplay-wise, just style. What I really like that is different about it is they really took, the effects of what you can do to polish games in the Unreal Engine and apply that into this world. So if you look at kind of where your character is focused at, anything in the background is blurred out. Anything that is so close to you in the foreground is also blurred out. So as you go towards the back or towards the front, things come into focus more, and everything else kind of blurs away as if it were far away. And even things such as water or just sun and shade glistening over trees or a house. They're shadows. When you're going into dungeons, when you're holding a lantern, the character's shadow actually goes with you amongst the background when you're closer to walls, the fire, and the light gets brighter. So it really uses visual effects very well as if it were a 3D game, but with these 2D sprites. And it stands out quite a bit. And I think the big area of focus here is stylistically, you can still have a great looking game, but also keep traditional formats and still make the game fun.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. I think that's one of the most striking things is the fact that it's 2D with a 3D background. That's just something that you have not really seen for any games, let alone JRPGs. And it's a way to really, really make one of the oldest genres be refreshed. The thing for me, I think that's also really good is the combat. There's nothing honestly that's that dynamic or different. Like it really is just standard JRPG combat. You pick some stuff, you got abilities to kind of power up a little bit, and you'll play the game. The only thing I think that really stands out is because it feels like there's a couple different systems in that each character has abilities that are very different than every other character. So certain characters are a Beastmaster and they can literally Pokemon it up and catch beasts and fight with them. Another person has the ability to steal like HP and SP from their opponents and then distribute it to themselves or to their teammates. Another character has the ability to, just have crazy over the top like slashing attacks or multi-hit attacks as like a pure warrior. And so each character is very different in how they apply combat. But it's crisp and tight, but not different.
I'm actually, for the most part, on the opposite side of that. The combat a little easier for me. One thing I don't like is that you had mentioned the Beastmaster. They can Pokemon it up. There is their starting beast. They're like kind of like family like, trained and my partner, that kind of thing. That creature's basic attack, it has 2, and they both have different properties, but it's 50-50. You can't choose which one you want to use. If you can figure out one's considered like a polearm attack, the other one's considered a slashing attack. If you find the weakness of the enemy, it'll lean towards that weakness for the proper attack, but it's still not 100%. There's been so many times where I've had like 4 enemies. I've broken through their defenses, and I'm like, okay, 1 slash, I'll knock all these guys out. Okay, you did the one that targets one creature.
Give me a sweep.
Like, yeah, and like I really wish I could choose which one I want to do. It makes no sense to have your standard attack be a random property. That I don't like, and it sucks because that was my first character. So I felt that was kind of dumb. I don't like the guessing game of finding the weakness, of wasting my turns, of like, okay, that only did 30 damage. Nope, that's not the thing. Okay, let me wait for the rotation around to try something different. Oh, I forgot I used that one already. One of the characters has the two different weapons they can use, being a sword and a dagger. Those look very similar. The symbols look extremely similar, except for which way the blade is pointing. And it's like, okay, let me use the dagger. Oh, I used the sword again. So it's just some things that I feel aren't as intuitive or as easy as I would like them to be. Again, I'm not asking for the game to be, super easy baby mode for Garrett, but there's certain things that I just don't like the way they went with it. I don't like the direction they went with a lot of the combat.
I can see where you're coming from. I actually do like a lot of the combat and the systems that they input into place. Just to go kind of to challenge what you were saying about finding weaknesses, that is no different from any RPG that you ever play. The only difference is they actually allow you to see the weakness to help you remember, rather than you try to physically remember it every time you go into a battle.
Yeah, and you're right there, especially when you find a weakness, you defeat that battle, you run into another encounter of the same creature, and it's still there. Like, the weakness is still there of what outweighs if you get through the grind.
So, I do like the break system, Johnny. Most RPGs nowadays don't have anything new except maybe one or two things here or there. It's a traditional JRPG. What else can you really add that hasn't been done before? The job system. You look at Bravely Default. Excellent game. It's typical JRPG. You got classes, you got jobs, you can enhance the jobs. That's pretty much it. The breaking system adds a little bit more of a dynamic where now, in order to exploit a weakness, you have to figure out the weakness, and then you have an advantage because they're stunned. But I think, because I'm about 10 hours in, I think that what it's going to do in the long run is it's going to force you to either make a decision to either break a certain enemy and try to defeat that enemy, or try to break all the enemies to give you a chance to recover. I spent 15 minutes on a boss battle, trying to figure out if I'm trying to just break one enemy to kill him, or break everybody and then use my resources and waste a turn to recover, which I ended up doing. What I really like about a couple things on here is boss battles. The boss is just a ginormous sprite. So you can definitely tell what a boss looks like compared to the other enemies. And I really like so far that every character has their own story. And even though you're progressing through this main land, you can actually go to different areas to progress through a specific character's story. Johnny, you had mentioned off air to me the other day that you don't like how there's not one overarching story. It's just 8 different stories that you just happen to go across. And we don't know that yet because we're not the end game, but I actually like that. It gives me a chance to see what these characters are about. It gives the characters development, and it allows you to pick and choose if you want to do that story or not, because you don't have to. It gives you the ability to skip the story. So I'm curious to see if you can actually beat the game without going through each character's story or any character's story.
Well, you have to go through someone's story, but you don't have to go through all of them. But I don't like that because it doesn't actually have any character development. I guess in their own story, but as far as them as a group, it's pointless. Like, you literally walk up to someone and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, the pirate stole from, you're going to help me get the stuff back the pirate stole? Thank you. And then they're just forever now.
Would you like to hear my story?
Yeah, they're just forever now going to follow you. Or, I need to find my lost master. And his beast came back, and I gotta go. You're gonna help me go find him, and thank you. Like, okay, it's just pointless. It doesn't make sense to me. That being said, though, some of the individual stories did resonate with me pretty well, and they had a little bit of an adult theme that I did not expect, like with the dancer.
Mm-hmm. That's what I keep hearing. I haven't got to her yet.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty
adult.
oriented.
That's pretty adult, especially in her first story arc.
Because a lot of the stories I'm coming across are so just copy paste, cookie cutter kind of thing.
There are some.
I've only run into 4 people, and all 4 so far have been very just basic stories. I'm not asking for crazy best-selling, novel or whatever, but book is missing. I'm gonna go find it. My master's missing. I'm gonna go find him. My sister's sticking around, so I'm going to go do this pilgrimage.
Yeah, I think I was gonna interject and try to guess who you got, and I think you got the 3 that I would have imagined plus the starter.
Did you get to the thief yet?
No, yeah.
That's your 4th one. I only have 4.
Well, no, that was technically my 2nd one. But because you pick one and then I just go in a circle.
Yeah,
because that's kind of the way that the game goes.
I went off the beaten path. I have 4 characters, and now I chose to do part 2 on one of them. Give it a challenge.
There you go.
Yeah, but the broken, jilted stories, I don't know if that works for me if they don't come together in some way. Like, I always appreciate in the other JRPGs like Golden Sun or Final Fantasies or anything where, like, your characters something happens and they're standing in the room in a cutscene and, like, they're discussing things and you hear, like, the point of view of the brash, angry one or the timid one or the healer, and then they discuss things a little bit. But this so far will never happen because your characters are all separated. They're just there, silent protagonists.
I think that's the point, and I do agree with you that I feel that it would all be better if it all came together. But I think the point of this is, you have 8 individual stories. You happen to meet each other, and you have to have some way to have a party for them. But because when you go to certain cutscenes, it only shows the main character in that storyline, and it doesn't show anybody else, I think that makes it where the focus is just on the characters, and I don't think there's going to be a party story. I think that might be the only, I guess I could say, flaw or thing that I don't like so far.
Yeah, that's a bad point. Like, that's not good. If I just walk around, oh, hey, you need to go steal something, come with me. Like, oh, hey,
favorite thing so far.
Pirates stole from you, I'll help you. Then come with me while I go do other thing. Like,
there's a way that I think they really could have done it, and it wouldn't have been too crazy. Maybe you still go on with your character story, and then when the cutscene happens, maybe have at least the next person in your party just walk along with them, and then just make, it would cost more time and resources, but make kind of individual, not scenarios, if you will, depending on what party members you have. That way, you don't have to have the entire party, but you can still see that, oh, okay, he's with me. We're going on this journey together kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if they actually just made it where you didn't know what their story was, and then you see a person in need, your party's willing to help, and then you uncover the story along the way. Because one thing that they do in between storylines is you do have banter that you somehow run across where they actually have a couple of characters that are interacting with each other. And you get to see a little bit of that storytelling, but you don't really get that when you're picking up a party member. Like I was telling Johnny the other day, my favorite thing about one of the storylines is the guy's like, hey, I need to break into this mansion because I'm a thief and I need to figure out what this prize jewel is. And they're like, yeah, I guess I'll go with you. Like, who willingly goes with someone to break into a mansion to steal some jewels? Like, yeah, no, that's not what you do in real life. You're terrible people.
You should be fired from Disney.
All right.
So JRPGs, they're definitely not the cream of the crop. The draw, or just RPGs in general, aren't the draw that they used to be. Now you've got open world Western RPGs, you've got open world games like Just Cause, Grand Theft Auto, shooters, battle royales. They're way down on the list. Do you see this being like the resurgence of the JRPG in some form?
Me personally, no. I don't see this as as far as everything I've seen, it's not setting the world on fire. People aren't constantly talking about it, at least from my perspective. Like when God of War comes out, everybody's talking about God of War. It's winning awards. It's all over the social media. Octopath Traveler, I've not seen on social media since the game came out.
I have. They were talking about how they ran out of copies.
Yeah, that did happen, which reminds me, I went in when I went to go buy my copy. I was like, let me just go buy a copy. You guys have Octopath Traveler? Oh, did you have it pre-ordered? No, I didn't. I got one. You're lucky because the guy just canceled. And if he didn't cancel, I wouldn't have it. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, you just want me to pre-order for next time. You tell everybody that same story. And then I see on social media, it's like Square Enix apologizing that they underestimated the demand and they didn't make enough copies. I'm like, oh, I guess I really was lucky.
Okay, cool. So your thoughts, Joshua? JRPGs coming back or not?
Though I don't think it'll make a resurgence, but there'll definitely be more coming, especially that, this game is doing successful. A lot of sprite-based, games, whether it be, Spelunky or Celeste or Pez, not Pez.
Shovel Knight.
Fez. Oh, Fez, what I meant. Shovel Knight. There's a lot of games that are getting the older generation look and
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, and getting a lot of praise. Yeah, I was just going to say Undertale. And people now are saying that you don't have to use graphics to make a great, compelling quality game. And I feel that, slowly RPGs are going to make their way back. I mean, Tales is getting its 10th anniversary for Vesperia, and some other RPGs. Persona got a lot of spotlight. It's not the best looking game graphically as far as, what people want in, graphics today, but the art style and the way it presents itself is just, almost flawless. So I'm glad that they are still making RPGs, because that is a genre that I think a lot of people felt was really going to fade out with all the shooters and all the new crazy action games that have been coming out over the last 10 years.
Yep. It'll have its niche as it's had, and it's going to stay there. There have been some good ones that you guys just mentioned, but it'll never be blockbuster seller. It's just not the climate of games and not the way that it's going strategically or competitively. It just first single player games are on the back burner. It's just the truth. Like battle royale and competitive things.
Whoa, calm down there, EA.
It's the truth, though. I mean, let's just be honest. Like battle royale and competitive things are getting more play, are selling more, are making more money than God of War. As much as we like God of War, let's just be honest. Like it's just not going to sell as much.
I feel that. I don't know. Well, Fortnite's free.
Oh, I wasn't talking about Fortnite. I didn't even mention that.
Well, you said battle royale.
Yeah. I'm sorry that Fortnite means...
It's a battle royale game.
Battle royale means Fortnite to you?
Yes.
No. It's a whole genre. Open world doesn't mean Elder Scrolls.
No, it means Grand Theft Auto.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, first party game, single player games are great. They're good. They'll always be big, but competitive games are just gonna be bigger. That's just the way it is. And as such, JRPGs are always gonna be small time, albeit good. So
why not make a multiplayer JRPG?
Go ahead.
Just make another Phantasy Star.
Never played Phantasy Star.
Cool. Well, that's our thoughts, guys, on Octopath Traveler.
Buy it if you can find it. Digital.
Just buy it digitally if you can't find it. There's just no point.
Buy Switch.
I don't really care.
About Octopath? What?
Yeah. Like, I'm struggling to make myself play the game.
No! You really don't like it?
I don't like it that much. Matter of fact, I bought another game so I could play that instead.
Worst $59.99 you've ever spent.
Nah, not the worst.
All right, guys. It is time for the speed run. So every week we break down 7 news stories and facts that just didn't make it for a full segment. We give ourselves 1 minute per topic before we move on to the next one, finished or not. Gotta go fast.
That's just the way it goes.
In the speed run. The DCEU is no more. Warner Brothers has nixed the old name and brought in the Worlds of DC as its new shared universe title.
I mean, it's a cool name.
This was a bit confusing first hearing about it. People were reporting, the DCEU is no more. I'm like, oh, okay, they cut their shared universe. And then, Worlds of DC. Okay, I guess they're going to have standalone movies now, and which I would have been fine with. You are separating yourself from the Marvel formula, which is something I think DC needs to do. But no, they're just changing the name, just so it's not called DCEU anymore.
Sounds like a amusement park.
World of DC.
World of Tomorrow.
Welcome to the world of DC.
I mean, I like it. I mean,
next. Well. The Metal Gear Solid movie continues pushing forward, and the script has been confirmed as not following any particular series in general.
Cool. I don't know if that's a good thing. Like,
I don't know if it is either.
Yeah, like those games are very complex, convoluted stories. So I guess from that point, it's a good thing. But
no, just start off slow. With the first movie be the first game.
That would be a bad idea.
You think so?
Yeah, like they'd have to take and make that a whole trilogy of itself.
True. Okay. Yeah. No, okay.
Maybe they are, and this is just part 1.
Well, they just said they're not going to go off. They're going to have a general script, so they're going to take probably pieces of all the games.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
I agreed.
Just make a Metal Gear Rising movie.
Nah, just make a Metal Gear Survive.
Nobody wants Metal Gear Rising.
I think quite a few people would like a Metal Gear Rising movie.
I would take that over Metal Gear Survive.
I
would absolutely love a Metal Gear Rising movie.
I don't want Raiden as a main character.
Raiden's pretty cool.
It's not even about Raiden. It's just a badass sword-wielding dude that's just ripping people apart and cutting soldiers in half.
That's Raiden.
It just happens to be the same character. He doesn't have to be Raiden, just a character that does that.
That's his whole thing, though. That's the whole point, is that Raiden...
Jack the Ripper. You don't have to name him Raiden. You could just say Jack the Ripper.
Next!
Talks continue with the International Olympic Committee between top Overwatch players. Video games may still make their way to the Olympic stage.
We've talked about this before. Don't remember your stance, Joshua, but Johnny, you and I are, I believe, on the same page where this doesn't belong on the Olympic stage.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that you feel that way, though. Still.
Oh, well,
I'm glad you agree, though.
I agree that, the Overwatch, esports and all that is still, it takes much dedication, but I don't think the Olympics is the same stage for it. I don't think it's the proper place for video games or esports.
I'm in agreement with you guys. Just it's
welcome
not
aboard.
I've been here.
A sport?
It's not a physical sport compared to all the other sports. Yes, you're using your fingers and your brains, but you're not doing really any strenuous physical activity that involves you to do any pre-workouts beforehand.
Yeah, you don't get tired playing Overwatch. You don't exert yourself.
You got to build up to that at some point.
Just have your own video game Olympics. Next.
The battle royale genre continues to grow. Fortnite is on par to make over $2 billion in 2019, with other games such as Call of Duty and Battlefield bringing in an additional 15 to 18 billion.
Million.
No, it's supposed to be billion.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. How can you? It's hard to see a projection like that because what you're saying is Fortnite is going to be bigger than any other game when all the other games that have battle royale is going to come out.
Well, I mean, remember Fortnite has already made $1 billion. Like,
I don't remember that.
They have already made $1 billion in 2018. The year's not over.
No, you're a little over halfway.
Yeah, and it was a free game.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is very doable across all the different battle royale games that they have. Some of them will you have to pay for, like COD and Battlefield, and then also those will have microtransactions. Then, of course, all the ones that just have microtransactions. It's just this genre is really taking off. People are really enjoying this for reasons I don't honestly understand.
Yeah, I just haven't quite gotten into it.
Should just have a movie that just says Fortnite and in parentheses, thanks PUBG.
Guarantee there will be a Fortnite movie.
I can't see it.
Oh, it'll happen.
I don't see it.
It'll be an animated short.
No, it'll be like what's the name of that show movie?
Battle
Mockingbird.
Royale?
No, Mockingbird. Mockingjay.
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. Thank you.
Which is also a playoff of Battle Royale.
Just ripped right from it. Next.
The hell are you going with that?
Microsoft's gaming division hits a milestone for the first time: $1 billion in earning in one fiscal year.
This is a funny number for them to hit, considering they really haven't had
any games.
Yeah, any exclusive titles.
Yeah, how?
Accessories? You're selling a lot of systems and controllers.
I mean, they have a pretty robust online store though, with a lot of content. Maybe it's not exclusive content, but they got a lot of games.
I mean, this says gaming division, so it doesn't necessarily mean video games. It could be PC games. It could be accessories, hardware.
Yeah.
Software.
Forza cars.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy for them. But I mean, with inflation, this doesn't mean as much as it could have.
Right, so we can chop that down to $500.
Yeah, I mean, you say this report 20 years ago, and it's $1 million. They're like, whoa, yeah.
Right, not that low, but yeah, I see your point. But yeah, so I mean, when it's the same thing with movies. When inflation happens, when they say this movie broke the record, it doesn't matter because when you account for inflation, all those things change.
Well,
next,
Mario Kart 8 gets even more DLC. The free DLC, hint free, includes Link's Master Cycle Zero bike and several other updates.
Okay. It's still getting content. The bike they added into Breath of the Wild with like the champion DLC.
Yep.
So now we're getting that bike into Mario Kart, which is pretty cool. I know it comes with like the champion tires, that kind of thing. So I think any kart you can kind of customize to have those same kind of wheels.
That's cool.
part of the content. I'm hoping there'd be another stage, maybe more Breath of the Wild-esque, and not just Hyrule Castle. Because I know it has that course, but maybe like a Breath of the Wild course.
Maybe. I think they would branch out to something other than Zelda like DLC add-ons.
Well, I mean, eventually, yeah, but we're talking Link's Master Cycle right now.
Yeah.
So I'm talking Link stuff.
What other DLC did they announce?
It has like additional like things you can add to the carts. It has Link's champion tunic as a skin. Yeah. I like the fact that they have DLC coming for free. It shows Nintendo's they're beginning to understand.
Next.
Spyro Reignited keeps the nostalgia alive, with players being able to switch between the original and remastered in-game scores.
I'm so happy about this. It's one of those things where Spyro music is the music I remember. It's playing in my head whenever I'm thinking about Spyro. You know, dashing through the baskets and collecting gems and burning enemies and everything like that. I hear that music. And it's funny that the same composer that made the Spyro music also made music for the Amanda Show, which is kind of out of nowhere because I always remember at the end credits of the Amanda Show, I'm like, oh man, this sounds... Where would I put this? I will put this song in Spyro. You know, like they made by the same person. So I thought that was really funny. To be able to switch back and forth between the remastered and the updated music as well as go back to the original, that's awesome. That's more than I would have asked for, and it's what I want.
It's an interesting way to do it because I don't know if anyone would want to do the Halo route where you go back to old graphics versus new graphics in the Spyro game. Granted, the new one looks way clearer than the PS1 version.
I think
it's just nicer to have.
People would appreciate that, I think, to be able to do that.
Absolutely. Definitely agree with that.
It's like having two games.
And
all right, guys, well, that's our speed run. It's time for Name the Game. 3 games, 2 hosts. Clues lead to 1 answer. Use your wits, match the clues, name the game.
I lost.
I won.
Because of Beyonce.
I cannot believe you have not played Rhythm Heaven, and you just played the Wii one.
Yeah, I mean, I was way past the DS at that point in time.
I think it's funny you just put that loss on Beyonce. She wasn't even part of the clues or nothing.
No, I don't even remember what the clue was.
Beyonce wasn't a part of it.
But she promoted the game, so she's a part of it.
Wow.
I mean, you don't talk about Lakers now without saying LeBron. He's a part of it. All right, hold on. Let me pull up this email. You go ahead, have a swig of water. You might need it for this one. All right. 3 games. Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Game number 1. A puzzle game unlike any before it.
I wonder how many times we've used that line in our Name the Games.
Like there's nothing before it? Yeah.
No, like a puzzle game unlike any other, like that kind of thing. Pass.
Pokemon Puzzle League.
No. Not all puzzles require finishing to beat the game.
The Witness.
The Witness.
Wow. I haven't played it. That's good.
I played it for 5 minutes.
Good job.
That's you got open to the first door and you're like, oh, this is open world? I don't want to play it.
Done.
Yeah, there's nothing in my mind. There's nothing you could have said to make me guess that. So good job.
The other hints would have had it.
It would have. I don't know much about the game. So
okay.
But good job, Garrett.
Cool. One on Garrett. All right. This one is a tricky one.
Don't say that. Just go.
This one is easy. A rhythm game developed by Sonic Team.
Donkey Konga?
No.
Samba de Amiga.
Oh, wow.
Good job, Garrett.
Man, I'm surprised you remember that name right off the bat. You didn't even get to talk about maracas or anything.
That's the only music game I know about Sega.
2-0. You going to get skunked today? It's going to be the first skunk for Johnny Mac?
We'll see.
Game number 3. Is there such thing as a touchdown, but with no football?
Tecmo Bowl?
No.
He
gonna beat you.
Blood Bowl?
No. Okay, I thought you were close. A crazy stylized action adventure hack and slash game on a Nintendo platform.
No More Heroes.
There you go. You almost had it, Garrett.
Travis.
Travis Touchdown.
That was a good clue.
Thank
the
you.
first clue was brilliant, man. I give you that. I give you props for that. All right, Garrett, you
no
won.
Skunks. I have yet to be skunked with somebody else.
2-1. So good job there, Garrett.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice. That's the name of the game.
All right, it's time for the end of our show. We talk about what's going on with us outside the podcast, what we're gaming, what we're doing, and of course, we give each other
superpowers.
Stupid superpowers, for better or for worse.
This is the week to give them. We had Comic-Con.
We did have Comic-Con, which I guess I'll get into that a little bit, but my week, I'll come back to the Comic-Con thing. My week has been a good one. My pretty much last week on my own, my wife and son have been in New Mexico since like the 14th or something, and they get back this Wednesday. So by the time you listen to this, they'll be home. But for me, this is Sunday. I still have 2 more days without them. It's been a nice little vacation, but I'm also missing them. Been playing a lot of games, put in some time in Octopath Traveler, caught up in Orange is the New Black, played some Magic the Gathering, had a nice little D&D session with my work group on Friday. Funnily enough, we're also starting a poker group. I'm really excited for that. We get very little work done. We just mostly play games and stuff. And then also, my guy Richie, who's part of the D&D group, he has a new Etsy store, Brazak's Bazaar. He makes honestly, really great props and materials for D&D, houses, trees, wheelbarrows, whatever you need, he makes, and the price is pretty affordable. So he's always giving me a bunch of stuff just because he's making it, getting his actual store up and running. So my D&D sessions are going to get better and better because I got all this free swag. But yeah, my week's been a good one. To really quick go into my Comic-Con topic before I forget, it's honestly a little bit sad that San Diego Comic-Con really doesn't even revolve or matter for comics anymore. It's just surpassed it where it's about TV shows and movies and
pop culture.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It wasn't pop culture.
Yeah.
It was comics, and comics are almost non-existent in the news that comes out for Comic-Con. It's like 5th on the list. Just a sad little thing. All right, Joshua.
Yes.
I promised you a superpower.
Yes, you did.
So you're going to get a superpower.
Okay.
All right. So you have the ability to mildly control the elements. You can kind of control them and use them and make them, but only to small degrees. And it gives you a bad headache if you use them. And the more you use it, the worse the headache gets. But you can do small things. So you can snap your fingers and have a flame come out so you can heat up something. Not necessarily fight with, just on your fingertips or in your palm, or you can charge your phone and device with a little bit of electricity, or you can have some water sprinkle like a drinking fountain out of your fingers, just a little bit of elemental power.
You said like a drinking fountain,
but you have it. Or if you're hot, you can turn your hand and just cold air will come off you. If you need to ice a drink, you just put your hand on the drink and ice it.
Like Elsa?
No, not like Elsa.
Like Iceman.
Like Iceman, yeah.
What's the difference?
So yeah, just not great elemental power, but a little bit of power.
What's the difference between Elsa and Iceman?
There isn't. He just wanted to disagree with Elsa and agree with Iceman.
So there's your superpower, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was nice.
Yeah, it's a good power, right?
Yeah, I can use it for evil, but I'm not going to because I'm not an evil person.
Sad. I'm sorry to see.
No, it's not sad. Not at all. All right, my week. I have a day today, but no, Garrett said he'll share that in a little bit. I've been playing some Octopath. We talked about it earlier. I'm really enjoying the game. I feel the game plays very well when you are playing in handhold, freestanding. Is it in like a mode when you stand it?
It's just handheld mode.
No, when you stand it, when you use the cradle.
No.
Kickstand mode.
Yeah, whatever you call it. It plays really well in that mode. I actually like that better than in handheld mode. But the screen is really small, so you have to really be close on the fine print.
I do not trust that kickstand at all. It feels extremely flimsy.
It does.
It's not only that it is extremely flimsy. Any little movement backwards will make that thing fall in on itself.
If you're going to do it that way, have 2 at least.
Yeah.
That way it's leveled. I don't know. I feel a small design gap.
There are accessories you can buy for it where it'll function a lot better, and it allows you to lay it back more, so it's more of an angle.
But now I have to spend money for it to
Yes.
do the thing it's trying to do.
Yes.
But it's doing a bad job at it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
But it works in that mode very well. So
Okay.
Been doing that. I've been going to the gym a little bit more often, working out, trying to eat healthy. I splurged myself a little bit this weekend, had a bunch of pizza.
Pizza you left here and forced me to find room for in the garage.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I didn't ask you to put it in the garage, but I thank you for finding room for it.
Just keep going.
I'm gonna eat it after the
You
podcast.
literally asked him to find a spot for it because you didn't want to have like room temp pizza or something.
No,
you
it
wanted
wasn't
it
even
somewhere.
that.
You didn't want to take it home.
I didn't want to take it home and bring it back tomorrow. I was cool with the room temp pizza. That's not an issue.
Okay.
I mean, either way, it's going to go in the microwave still. It's just,
You had pineapples on it. I don't think you can leave that out.
dude, shut up.
I don't think you could leave the cheese out, more importantly.
You dissed some pineapples, or you just saying that warm
I'm
pineapple?
dissing pineapple.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are. Yeah, I'm the captain now. In a week and a half, I'm going to be out. You guys are going to either do a bro up episode or you're going to do something else because I'm going to Evo in a week and a half. So I'm looking forward to that. I unfortunately am not going to go Thursday anymore. My brother can't go. One of my close friends who is now able to go is going. He can't go on Thursday. He can't go on Friday morning because he has to work. So I am choosing to go Friday evening so that way I don't have to get a room by myself. So the tournament brackets have not been made yet because the entries just closed out 3 days ago. So I don't know if I'm going to play Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday night, or Saturday.
But if you're showing up Friday night, you better hope you're not playing Friday morning.
You mean Saturday? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the thing, though. So I'm competing in Smash Brothers and Street Fighter. So if my tournament time is any time on Friday, I'm not going to get to play, which is going to suck. But I'd rather miss that tournament than not go for the experience the entire weekend.
Fair.
That's kind of how I see it. So looking forward to going again for the 5th straight year out of 7. I've gone 5 out of 6 this time around.
Quick question: is this next week?
It's not this upcoming Sunday, but the week after.
Okay, so you'll be here for another.
I'll be here
episode?
one more episode, then I'll miss the second
Okay,
episode.
so why aren't we talking about this next week?
I'm remembering it now. I'm just prepping everybody. In 2 weeks, you're gonna miss me.
Okay.
Last quick thing on it: Dragon Ball Fighters was the highest, not ranked, the highest.
Requested?
No, the highest entries at just under, I think, 2,500. And Street Fighter V surprisingly is just under that by a couple hundred.
How much for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
0. Because it's not actually a mainstay. I think there's a side tourney for it.
That's sad.
But,
the game came out this year.
Melee's still pretty high. I think Melee is above Smash 4, which is surprising with the announcement of
it's
Smash
not.
Ultimate.
It's not surprising at all.
Ultimate. I thought it would be more on Smash Wii U because of the announcement of Ultimate.
No, I get that, but Melee players, like, to be playing Melee and be dedicated to Melee this long, like, you're in. You're in.
Nintendo did right by keeping themselves in the competitive game. All right. So, Garrett,
Yes.
your superpower.
Okay.
So, you have the ability to, you know how sometimes you have like dreams and
Sometimes.
ideas.
Sometimes I have dreams and ideas and aspirations.
And you think like you
But then
have
I wake up.
you have the ability where in real life you can kind of create a comic book scenario.
Okay.
So you have the ability where, say, you read, Batman Hush, and there was like a sequence or storyline that you liked specifically.
Uh-huh.
You can make that actuality in real life. You can take a certain amount of people, a certain group setting, a certain city, and kind of relive that comic book scenario in real life.
Is there
with real
danger?
people.
Is there danger?
I mean, there can be danger. I mean,
Can I die in this scenario?
You're taking it straight out of the book. So, I mean, if you want to relive a character that happens to die, you may die in real life.
Okay, I will avoid
like
that
a
scenario.
bad version of Sword Art.
All right, okay. There's some stuff I can
Or
do.
Tron. You die in Tron, you die in real life.
Oh man. Okay, I can do stuff with that.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir.
Yep.
So
God, the things I could do with that power.
exactly why he gave it to me. So to start off, Joshua, happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yours is a week after mine.
Yep.
So we're birthday buddies, sort of,
Birthday
kind of.
months.
Birthday months. Johnny, we'll see you in a couple months.
It's okay.
Something more important.
Wait, I want to say it. Oh,
Fine.
happy anniversary, sir.
Thank you.
Is that what you're going to say?
It was what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
So
She's not here though.
no, Vivi's not here.
I can't tell Vivi. I can. I'll text her.
I sent her a text. So there's this long running gag that I have with Johnny where in July I say that he should take a day off to celebrate my birthday. But every time he's like, no, your day's not as important as my day because it's my anniversary. And I'm just like, well.
I never say that.
He alludes to it very heavily, and sometimes he actually says it. And I was like,
sometimes he does.
hey, your wife's not here, so it's time to celebrate my birthday this time, right? And he's just like, we'll get back to that.
Well, in case Vivi wants to FaceTime or something, you gotta be ready.
Yeah, well,
you gotta do what the wife says. So happy birthday to you, sir.
Oh, thank you.
I have been struggling, forcing myself to play Octopath Traveler, not enjoying it as much as I'd like. So I bought some other games. I really want to play my Switch more, so I bought some games for my Switch. There's an upcoming game that I thought was out and really wanted to buy called Dead Cells. I'm very excited for Dead Cells. It'll be out, I believe, in 2 weeks. August 3rd, I think, or August 7th. Coming up, beginning of August. It's kind of like that roguelike. It's a Metroidvania kind of mixed with Dark Souls. So I'm very excited for that.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that game when it comes out.
And I am very excited to play it on my Switch. But in the meantime, I did buy Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, nice.
I have heard good things about it, have not started it yet. I know it's very kind of dungeon crawling and like not psycho. I don't know, mess with your mind kind of thing. Or at least with the characters' minds. So looking forward to trying that some more. Probably not going to play much Octopath. I don't know what's going on with that.
Ooh, yeah. Well, if you're going to buy another game in the next week, let me know. Nintendo gave me a 30% off coupon that I don't know if I'll use
Oh, baller.
before it expires.
Okay. Because I also just bought Hyrule Warriors.
Oh.
But that's coming in the mail because they didn't have it in stores, so they're mailing it to
They
me.
didn't have it in the digital store?
I don't know. I have this thing for for Nintendo, I want to buy physical. I don't know why. I care more. I guess maybe because I don't have to install all my games. So, it's different with, PS4 and Xbox because I have to install it anyway. I got to take up the space anyway, whether I buy a physical or digital. Not the same with the Switch, although it still does take up a bit of room.
Yep.
Anyway, Wrecking Ball will be out by the time you're listening to this. My little hamster dude will be out on Overwatch. I'm looking forward to trying out this new hero, seeing things he could do, and seeing what the future is going to hold for him. Overwatch says, or Blizzard says, that they're going to make future maps with him in mind. So curious what that actually means. So Overwatch, Darkest Dungeon, and that's probably about it for me.
Gotcha.
And Hyrule Warriors when that comes in.
Cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to say to you. So I told you need to watch Dread, so I brought it. I was going to get it, but it's in the backpack. I don't want to make zipper sounds.
Okay, Dread. And this is the 2000-something...
Yeah, Carl Urban.
That was his name.
Totally badass movie.
Okay.
It's really good.
Okay, I will watch that.
Yeah. Blu-ray. I didn't get you the DVD or...
Look, man, I'm sorry. That's what I had when I bought the complete series of Avatar on Blu-ray.
I'm not
had all the
about
DVDs.
that. I'm just saying that I'm giving you a Blu-ray copy because I don't know if you have a DVD player.
If I have a Blu-ray player, I have a DVD player.
I don't have a DVD player.
Do you have a Blu-ray player?
I do.
Then you have a DVD player.
What if my Blu-ray player doesn't play DVDs?
Then it also doesn't play Blu-rays.
That's not true. There are Blu-ray players that don't play DVDs. It's
your Xbox and your PS4 both play PS4 or Blu-ray and DVD.
Why can't I just argue the point?
Because you're not making any sense.
Anyway, so I will check out Dread. Thank you, Joshua.
Thanks.
Johnny, you're a superpower. Are you ready?
No, I'm going to probably not enjoy this.
You may be. I don't know.
Judgmental
You might.
already.
I mean, if we had to have a track record, we already know who gives the worst powers.
This is true.
Or things that he thinks are powers that are just not.
Usually yours
Mr. I have a bag. He gave you a bag of holding.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of but you's like...
I thought the chocolate shit thing was...
You have some pretty decent stuff he gave you. And you use it for evil anyway, so it doesn't matter. You find a way. Except for the one I gave you last week.
Anyway. So, whenever a big convention, be it Comic-Con, Anime Expo, E3, any convention that you want to go to, you have a certain badge. And it's just a badge that you can form. You can kind of like transform it into the badge that is being used that year. So if you want to be there for 3 days, you want to be there for the 2 days, just the 1 day, whatever day you need it to be for that expo or that convention. It kind of morphs. It still scans and everything, so you don't have to worry about frauds or anything like that. It's just for conventions, though. You can't use it to enter in, restricted areas.
The White House.
The White House. Or anything like that. But you do have the ability with this magic badge to go to any convention that, whether it be in town or not.
I think that's the best superpower you've ever gotten.
From Garrett, anyway, which is not saying a lot. But that was completely stolen from, not that you knew this, but completely stolen from Doctor Who. He has like
the hell?
He has what do you call it?
Sonic screwdriver.
He has it's like psychic paper, which says exactly that. He like flashes it and people see what he wants them to see. Like
that's pretty
if
cool.
It's a badge or like a clearance ID or whatever.
That's pretty cool, actually. Mm-hmm. No, but I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I know.
You just undermined your superpower. Doctor Who came you first.
Oh, my bad.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Episode 87 in the bag, done, and this coming to the end here. Before we get out of here, guys, thank you for listening. We always appreciate you guys doing so. If you want to help the show, you can do so in one of several ways. Leave us a comment, a review, some stars, thumbs up, whatever it is, wherever you're listening. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, whatever you're listening, wherever you're listening, give us that, guys. It helps us quite a bit. We'd appreciate it. It helps people like you who might enjoy this find us. Tell friends and family about us. Let them know about the podcast and everything that we're doing here. If you enjoy it, maybe they'll enjoy it too. And lastly, guys, you can go to you can chat with us on any of our online forums. You can go to our facebook.com/Super Co-op Squad. You can find us on Twitter @Super Co-op Squad. You can also email us. The email address is contact@scspodcast.net. We appreciate all that stuff, guys. If you want to chat with us individually, you want to talk to me or get some info from Garrett or get Joshua's digits, you can do so. You can find me at JohnnyMac24.
You can find me at GJL3275.
I don't know about my digits, but you can find me online, Eternal Red Gamer.
Cool. As always, guys, I'm Johnny Mac.
I'm Garrett.
I'm Joshua.
Bye.
His phone number is 714.
Don't. No.